Christian Bruch is President and CEO of Siemens Energy. And René Seyger is a Middle East-based managing partner at the international management consultancy Roland Berger. They're collaborating on a report which measures energy transition readiness. We're going to dive right into the findings of that report in just a sec, but first, a question for you, Christian Bruch of Siemens Energy. Siemens Energy is a big player in the energy sector. So what does that energy transition look like for you here in the Middle East and in the UAE specifically?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I have to say always the Middle East, and when I'm here, I always recognize it's a powerhouse in energy, right? It's today a key region for energy supply, and it will be in the future. And if I look on it, we also have to see that we only get to a new energy world by recognizing what we have today. This is a region today rich of hydrocarbons, important for the supply of the world. It's a region which has a massive potential in renewables, and can also really demonstrate on how do you get from a world today to a world tomorrow, and recognizing that you will need both for some amount of time. And I think this is the beauty of having such events in this region here. Differently to Europe, where I think you have a different challenge at the moment. You have high energy cost, you have a question on, I would call it energy resilience, in terms of availability of energy, where there's a much more fundamental question how this is going to look like. The two regions are going to be very different in the future. I think Europe will see high energy prices for a long time to come, and the Middle East will be a region with very competitive energy prices going forward. The good thing is that these are neighboring regions, so I think they are joined at the hip in terms of solving the problem of energy transition. And it will be a big question is how is industry allocating in what part of the regions, and what part of the energy can be transported from one region to the other. And yes, this region could be a key exporter of renewable energy through molecules, through hydrogen, through methanol, through ammonia. That is a big opportunity this region has. This region also has to continue to supply hydrocarbons for some time to come, and they have to find a way on how to make, for example, this hydrocarbon industry as effective as possible. Europe going to be an importer for that, but we also might see certain parts of a very energy-intensive industry moving from Europe to that region here. So that will be, I think, a very intense discussion over the next years to come, and this is why it is a particular good location and a good time to have such discussion here.
A bit of a change of gears now. I'd like to know more about this report. So I understand Roland Berger and Siemens Energy surveyed about 2,000 experts to come up with this Energy Transition Readiness Index. René, what more can you tell me about that?
Yeah, look, we all agree that the energy transition needs to happen. There is a vast majority of people. But the question is shifting. The question is shifting, how do we make it happen? How do we convert from talking, agreeing that it needs to happen, in doing it, ultimately? And that is not as easy said as done. That's where we need, basically, collaboration. Now, the Readiness Index shows very clearly that on the front of, do we all agree? We agree. But are we really ready to go? Do we know how to? There are really steps to go. Think about acceleration of renewables, as Christian said. When we think about also using the current grids which we have, think about energy efficiency, where we need to step up, because hydrocarbons are not going to go away. Think about the current grids which we have. Don't forget, think about Asia, think about Africa. Population will grow dramatically. Therefore, we need to accommodate. It's a transition going forward. And basically, we need to think about the supply chains. We all know that given some of the global turmoil, supply chains are shifting on the globe. How do we take this as an opportunity, ultimately, to reshape an industry in the next few years? But it is a call for action. The readiness is not ready enough to meet the targets, to meet the ambitions. And that's where I think the cooperation between Europe specifically and the Middle East in the energy flows, in building the industry, in changing some of the structure of the industry delivering it, offers excellent opportunity. And that is what the debate should be about.
So that report is not ready to publish yet. You're saying it will be public imminently. So spoiler alert. In one sentence, can you tell me what are the findings of the report?
The key findings is we need to cooperate. We need to accelerate in this cooperation with very concrete projects. The time that we discuss about the necessity to happen, to discuss world peace, that should be a bit over. It should be, how do we shape cooperation to make it land, to make it happen? Great progress is being made. However, electrification will be by a factor of 3, 5 or 10, depending where you look on the globe. How do we get that size, that sizing ultimately in place? That's going to be a challenge, and that's where we still need to step up.
Christian, in a recent interview that was published in the national newspaper, you called the energy transition currently underway the biggest investment program since the Industrial Revolution. Are you still sticking by that?
Absolutely, and I mean, there's two messages with that, right? What I wanted to give. The one thing is, it's an opportunity. We talk so much about threats, concerns, or whatever, challenges. It's all true, right? But at the end, we have to say it's an opportunity. And there's a second element to it. Energy transition must have a business case. It must drive profitable business. Only then we will be able to do that. And if you want to accelerate, as René said, I mean, then we need to make sure that it's paying off. Private money goes into that. But if this is the situation, we can reinvent the industry. So it's a massive opportunity. It can create jobs. It can really help. But it will change a lot of things. And I also wanted to underline the serious amount of investment which has to go into this. We are still underestimating the size of the change we are up for. And I think this is also what the study actually reveals, right? I think as different as all the regions are, one thing I think we can already reveal that none of the region has the right perception of the reality. They're all overestimating how far they are down the road. So we are all far behind where we need to be, and this is why I think also these indexes and the report is so relevant. What you do not measure, you do not manage. And we need to put specifics really on the ground to actually get this progress, but it's an opportunity which can help to give people jobs and prosperity and so forth, but it comes with a massive amount of investment which cannot be overestimated.
Okay, you touched there on collaboration and the need for us to work together. This event, the Atlantic Council Global Energy Forum, is one of the kickoff events for Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week 2023. One of our themes is collaboration. I'd like this question for you, René. How important do you think alliances and partnerships are going to be as we chart this energy transition journey together?
They are essential. Without the partnership, we are changing a system. A system cannot be changed by one party only. Yes, we need the money, significant money. We need the technology. A lot of technologies are available. So we need acceleration deployment. We need industrialization, ultimately. We need offtake. We need this on a business case scale, big enough to have impact, but let's change gears a bit. Let's not try to strive for one global solution, because it will hamper us in the speed required. Let's cut it up and have the cooperation in chunks which are big enough, but still we can manage, we can muster. And for me, that is the next phase of the discussion, or actually the next phase of the action we should have.
Thank you so much for joining us. Christian Bruch from Siemens Energy and René Seyger from Roland Berger, the International Management Consultancy. Thanks.